Amazing day to all. This is Teacher Dan Ragayan, and welcome to another episode of our Let Review Drill. This is part of our preparation for your upcoming board exam for Science Majorship come March 2025. So, kumusta po kayo? Kumusta ang inyong pagre-review? I hope patuloy po natin ginagawa ang ating part no, as we prepare for the big day come March 23. So before we start, let me share my slide for our today's drill. All right, so we'll be having a new area for tonight. Okay, so let me pull off my slide here. Okay. All right, so welcome to our review drill number 9. Our review focus will be on anatomy and physiology. Bahagi pa rin po ito ng ating paghahanda para sa inyong board exam. At samahan po ninyo ako. I hope you have your pen and paper with you. So join me as we ask the 10 questions for this episode. Of course, let's all remember our goal to pass and even top the board licensure examination for professional teachers. And let's all manifest that we will pass the board exam. Okay? So for our review focus, we'll have biology, sub-area anatomy, and physiology. And for these sub-area, the PRC, the Board for Professional Teachers, has identified two key learning outcomes. The first one is to exhibit understanding of the functions, diseases, and care for the 12 systems of the body and discuss the recent inventions that have improved the health and longevity of life. So there are two key learning outcomes which the PRC has focused on in terms of anatomy and physiology. So I think everybody's ready. So let us all start. For question number one, what is the primary function of the circulatory system? A. Transport oxygen, nutrients, and waste products. B. Break down food for energy. C. Regulate hormones in the body. D. Provide structural support. So what do you think is the answer there? Okay. So for the circulatory system, what's your answer? Future top naturers. Of course, that's letter A. No? The transportation of oxygen, nutrients, and waste products are functions of the circulatory system. Breaking down food for energy is, of course, for digestive system. Regulating hormones in the body is the endocrine system or the hormone system of the body. And providing the structural support is, of course, our skeletal system, which works with the muscular system. That's why altogether they are called musculoskeletal system. So we have here some body systems that we need to remember. These are basic concepts no, in our human body and human anatomy and physiology. For integumentary, of course, they protect the body, regulate temperature, and prevent water loss. This includes the major organ, the skin, the hair, the nails, and of course, the sweat glands. Okay? For skeletal system, it provides the structure, supports movement, and protects vital organs. So these include, of course, the bones, the cartilage, the ligaments, and the joints. We do also have the muscular system, but before we go to the muscular system, remember that skeletal system of adult is composed of how many bones again? That's 206 bones. All right. For muscular system, it enables movement, maintains posture, and generates heat. Now, these include the different types of muscle. We have three here, the skeletal muscles, the cardiac muscles, of course, of the heart, and of course, the smooth muscles. No? So, uh, ilan na nga ulit, no, ang ating muscles in the human body? So, we have around 600 muscles. Okay? So, what is the largest muscle of the human body? We have gluteus maximus. So gluteus maximus is the largest muscle. All right. So what's the longest bone? What's the longest bone of the body? That's femur, right? So femur is the longest bone of the body. While the smallest bone is of course found in our ear, that is stirrup or stapes. Okay. For nervous system, It controls body functions, processes sensory information. So these include our brain, our spinal cord, and the nerves. Okay, the peripheral nerves. Okay, so for endocrine system, no, it regulates body functions via hormones. No, the endocrine system or the hormone system of the body. These include thyroid, adrenal glands, pituitary glands, and pancreas, among others, no, as part of the major organs. And remember that the master gland of the body is pituitary gland. Why is it called the master gland of the body? Because it secretes a lot of hormones. Okay? We also have circulatory system, no, which transports oxygen, nutrients, and waste, no, as mentioned in our question. So these include the major organs, the heart, the blood vessels, and the blood. Remember our blood vessels, the veins, the arteries, and the capillaries. Okay. We also have the lymphatic or the immune system, which defends against infections and maintains fluid balance. So these include lymph nodes, spleen, thymus, and of course the white blood cells. White blood cells are also known as leukocytes. Red blood cells are also known as erythrocytes. Okay? How about platelets? Platelets are thrombocytes. How about the liquid portion of the blood? Plasma. How do you call the study of blood? Hematology. Right? Respiratory system, it facilitates gas exchange, oxygen in, carbon dioxide out. And remember that the main organ for breathing is the lungs, right? Trachea is the what is trachea again? That is our windpipe, right? Then we also have the bronchi and the diaphragm. Okay. Now for the digestive system, okay, so we have it breaks down food, absorbs nutrients, eliminates waste also. No, it includes stomach, the intestines, the liver, and pancreas. Remember, the liver is the largest internal organ, while the largest external organ is the skin. Okay? So urinary or the excretory system removes waste and maintains fluid and electrolyte balance. Okay? So this include our kidneys, the urinary bladder, the ureters, and the urethra. Okay? For the reproductive system, it produces gametes. What are gametes again? These are sex cells, right? Then they support reproduction. So these include ovaries, testes, uterus, and prostate. Remember, ovaries are the primary sex organ of female, while testes are the primary male sex organs. And lastly, the exocrine system, it secretes substances externally, like that of sweat, saliva, and enzymes. So sweat glands, salivary glands, mammary glands, pancreas are some of its major. So these are the 12 body systems. Okay. Question number two, which of the following diseases is primarily or primary associated with the respiratory system? A, arthritis, B, asthma, C, diabetes, D, hypertension. Okay, what's your answer? Of course. So respiratory system, that's correct. It's the asthma. Okay, so asthma or yung hika, no, is connected to respiratory system. Okay? So these are some of the primary associated diseases per body system of for body system of humans. So for integumentary system, skin cancer, we just enumerate them just in case ma-encounter natin sila no, sa ating major ship exam. Skin cancer, eczema, psoriasis, acne, dermatitis. Then for skeletal system, we have osteoporosis, arthritis, fractures, rickets, scoliosis. Rickets, lumalabas din to, no? Sa Gen Ed and sa majorship. Pag sinabi nating rickets, deficiency of vitamin D, that is rickets, no? Kapag sa mga pag other term nito, no, we call it osteomalacia. Okay? For muscular system, we have muscular dystrophy, myasthenia gravis, fibromyalgia, and strains. Okay? For nervous system, we have Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, epilepsy, and stroke. For endocrine system, we have diabetes, hyperthyroidism, hypothyroidism, Cushing's syndrome. Then for circulatory system, we have the hypertension, heart attack or the myocardial infarction, stroke, and atherosclerosis. Okay. Next question, which of the following diseases is primarily associated with the respiratory system? No, naulit yan. That's asthma, of course, no? So other primary associated diseases for lymphatic or immune system of the HIV/AIDS, lupus, lymphoma, rheumatoid arthritis. For respiratory system, now what we mentioned is asthma. We also have pneumonia, the COPD or the chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and of course, lung cancer. For digestive system of gastritis, irritable bowel syndrome or IBS, hepatitis, and ulcers. For urinary or excretory system, we have kidney stones, UTI or the urinary tract infection, chronic kidney disease or CKD. For reproductive system, you have the polycystic ovary syndrome or the PCOS, infertility, prostate cancer, and endometriosis. Okay? And lastly, exocrine system, we have cystic fibrosis, excessive sweating, or hyperhidrosis, and dry mouth or xerostomia. Okay, so these are some primary associated diseases, just in case the major shop exam would ask you this, since this is part of our TOS. Okay. Number three, which of the following is a disorder of the nervous system? A. Alzheimer's disease. B. Hypertension. C. Ulcer. D. Diabetes. So, nabanggit na natin to no, earlier. Of course, that is Alzheimer's disease. So, nervous system, Alzheimer's disease. Okay. Number four, what is the most common cause of heart attacks? A. Blockage of blood flow to the brain. B. Plaque buildup in the arteries. C. Insufficient oxygen in the lungs. Or letter D. High levels of insulin. Right? So what is the most common cause of heart attack or myocardial infarction? It's the plaque buildup in the artery. So that is correct. Letter B. Okay? So a heart attack or myocardial infarction occurs when blood flow to the heart muscle is blocked, preventing oxygen from reaching the cardiac tissue. So the most common cause of this blockage is plaque buildup in the coronary arteries, a condition known as atherosclerosis. So the blockage of blood flow to the brain naman is described as a stroke. A stroke occurs when blood flow to the brain is disrupted, whereas a heart attack affects, of course, the heart. Okay? Yeah, so you can see here, no, the dying heart muscle here. So you can see that there is a plaque here, no, in the coronary artery, and there is blood clotting there. Okay? Number five, which of the following is a recent advancement in medical technology that helps replace lost kidney function? A. MRI scan, B. Artificial pancreas, C. Dialysis machine, or letter D. X-ray. Okay, so helping replace lost kidney function. So this medical technology, a recent advancement in medtech is dialysis machine. Okay? So yung pag narinig nyo nagpapadialysis, so ano yung naapektuhang organ? So that is kidney. Okay? So this is some of the medical tools na baka lang lumabas sa board exam ulit. So we have MRI scan or the magnetic resonance imaging. It uses strong magnetic fields and radio waves to create detailed images of internal organs and tissues. Artificial pancreas automatically regulates blood sugar levels for diabetic patients by delivering insulin as needed. Dialysis machine removes waste, excess fluid, and toxins from the blood when the kidneys are unable to function properly. Then we also have X-ray machine, which uses radiation to create images of bones and internal structures to detect fractures, infections, or abnormalities. And lastly here, we have ultrasound or sonography, which uses high-frequency sound waves to create images of organs, tissues, and fetuses during pregnancy. Okay? We also have here the CT scan or the computed tomography scan, which combines the multiple X-ray images to create cross-sectional views of the body for detailed diagnosis. Meron din tayong ECG, no, naririnig niyo yan, the electrocardiogram, para sa electrical activity of our heart to detect irregular heartbeats and potential heart diseases. Pacemaker, though we have natural pacemaker of the heart, and that is the sinoatrial node, but pacemaker, just in case the natural pacemaker has failed, we have here a small implanted device that regulates heart rhythm using electrical impulses. While the endoscope is a flexible tube with a camera used to examine the digestive tract and other internal organs. So to check our internal organ and the digestive tract primarily. Then we also have the defi- defibrillator delivers electric shocks to the heart to restore normal rhythm during cardiac arrest. Okay? And yeah, we also have ventilator, no, sinama ko na lahat. Assist patients in breathing by supplying oxygen when they cannot breathe on their own. So may ventilator tayo. May blood glucose monitor then, which measures the blood sugar levels for diabetic patients to manage insulin and diet. We also have the PET scan or the positron emission tomography, which detects the metabolic activity in organs and tissues, often used in cancer detection. Stethoscope, no, amplifies internal body sounds like heartbeat and lung function for medical diagnosis, while laparoscope is a minimally invasive surgical tool with a camera used for abdominal procedure. And lastly, we have the otoscope, which used to examine the ears, no, for infections and abnormalities, and the sphygmomanometer, which measures blood pressure to diagnose hypertension or hypotension. So these are some of the medical tools. Remember, part of our task is the recent advancement, no, in the medical field, which helps detect, no, potential diseases or potential illnesses in our body. Okay, so to wrap it all up, no, the different medical tools, just in case matanong ulit who is considered as the father of medicine, that is Hippocrates. He established medicine as a profession separate from religion and superstition. He introduced the Hippocratic Oath, an ethical code for physicians that still reference today. He emphasized observation, diagnosis, and prognosis in medical practice rather than supernatural explanations for disease. And he believed in the four humors theory, the blood, the phlegm, the black bile, and the yellow bile as the basis of health and diseases. So that is Hippocrates. Okay, next question. Question number 6. Which recent medical invention uses AI to detect diseases from imaging scans? A. Pacemaker, B. Insulin pump, C. AI-powered radiology systems, or letter D. Stethoscope. Okay, what's your answer, future top notchers? Of course, that is correct. The AI-powered radiology system. So it uses AI to detect diseases from imaging scans. So these are some of the medtech tools that you might encounter. So we have the AI-powered radiology system, which use AI to detect diseases from imaging scans like X-rays, MRI, CT scans with higher accuracy. We also have the CRISPR gene editing. It edits DNA to correct genetic disorders and potentially cure diseases like sickle cell anemia and some cancer. So, lumabas na to rin in the recent board. Then we also have the 3D bioprinting, creates artificial tissues and organs using bioink, helping in organ transplantation and regenerative medicine. Okay, then we also have wearable health devices such as watches, ECG monitors, which continuously monitor heart rate, oxygen levels, blood pressures, and detect irregularities like artificial fibrillation. Okay, then robotic assisted surgery enhances precision in surgeries using robotic arms controlled by surgeons, reducing recovery time and risks. Okay, question number 7. CRISPR technology is used for blank. A. Diagnosing bacterial infections. B. Detecting tumors. C. Treating high blood pressure. D. Correcting genetic mutations. So what is the answer? What's the use or what's the function of CRISPR technology? Now, we mentioned that earlier. That is letter D, correcting genetic mutations. Remember that mutations, no, is the occurrence, no, of a damage, no, um, damage in the DNA. Okay, so the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 2020 was awarded to Emmanuel Charpentier and Jennifer A. Doudna for the development of a method for genome editing, and that is the CRISPR technology. Okay, next, number eight, which part of the brain is primarily responsible for regulating homeostasis, including temperature control and hunger? A. Cerebrum, B. Hypothalamus, C. Medulla oblongata, D. Cerebellum. Okay, so regulating homeostasis, that is, what is that? That is hypothalamus. So hypothalamus regulates homeostasis, which includes temperature control and hunger. Cerebrum is primarily responsible naman for our higher cognitive functions, such as our thinking, our memory, voluntary movements, and sensory processing. So alagaan natin ang ating cerebrum, kailangan natin 'yan, 'no, punuin ng ating mga memory, mga conceptual, mga concepts, no, mga principles, mga formulas, no, na para sa ating paghahanda for the board exam. Hypothalamus, it controls homeostasis by regulating temperature, hunger, thirst, and hormone secretion via the endocrine system. While medulla oblongata controls involuntary functioning like breathing, heart rate, and blood pressure. So itong medulla oblongata lumabas na rin in the recent board, no, for breathing, heart rate, blood pressure, ano daw ito? So that's medulla oblongata. And cerebellum, our little brain, no? Latin for little brain, responsible for balance, coordination, and fine motor control. Okay? Question number nine, the SA or the sinoatrial node, also known as the heart's natural pacemaker, is located in which heart chamber? A, left atrium, B, right atrium, C, left ventricle, D, right ventricle. All right, so the SA or the sinoatrial node, our natural pacemaker of our heart, is actually found in the right atrium. So it can be found in the right atrium. So here, you can find here the sinoatrial node. So the right atrium, where the SA node is located in the right atrium and initiates electrical impulses that regulates the heart's rhythm. Okay, so the left atrium, on the other hand, receives oxygenated blood from the lungs via the pulmonary veins. All right, so oxygenated blood, na it is being received by the left atrium, while the right ventricle pumps the oxygenated blood to the lungs via the pulmonary artery. So the right ventricle pumps deoxygenated, no blood without oxygen, while left ventricle pumps oxygenated blood to the body via the aorta. So basically, these are the major functions, no, of the four chambers of our heart. So pag tinanong sa board exam, ilan ang chambers of the heart? We have these four. Okay? So inferior vena cava is the largest vein in the body, which carries the oxygenated blood from the lower body to the heart. No? So that's inferior vena cava. While the aorta is the largest artery in the body. It carries oxygenated blood from the heart to the rest of the body. So aorta, the largest artery. While the sinusoidal capillaries in the liver and bone marrow are considered the largest type of capillaries with wide and irregularly shaped walls that allow the exchange of large molecules and cells. Remember, the veins, the capillaries, and the arteries are our blood vessels, which are components of the cardiovascular system or the circulatory system. Okay, question number 10, last number. Which of the following neurotransmitters is primarily responsible for muscle contraction at the neuromuscular junction? A. Dopamine, B. Serotonin, C. Acetylcholine, or letter D. GABA. Okay, what neurotransmitter is primarily responsible for muscle contraction at the neuromuscular junction? And the correct answer here is letter C, acetylcholine. So acetylcholine is responsible for muscle contraction. And of course, the main neurotransmitter at the neuromuscular junction responsible for stimulating muscular contraction by transmitting signals from motor neurons to muscle fibers. While dopamine is a neurotransmitter involved in reward, motivation, and movement regulation, while serotonin primarily regulates our mood, our appetite, and even the sleep. Okay? So karoon din kayo no, ng enough and adequate sleep, no? While preparing for the board. Alagaan din ang ating mga sarili. And lastly, GABA, gamma aminobutyric acid is an inhibitory neurotransmitter that reduces neuronal excitability and prevents excessive stimulation. All right. So basically, these are some of the neurotransmitters. All right. So we have here dopamine, the rewarding chemical. No, you feel this when you complete a task, when you do self-care activities, when you eat food, when you celebrate little wins. And yeah, no, yung mga little wins natin tulad na nakapag-review tayo for today, no, is already a little win. Nakapagsagot tayo ng drill, nakapagsagot tayo ng mock test, nakapagbasa tayo ng ating mga concept inventories. So, patuloy natin gawin yan, no? So, we'll have dopamine, no? We will release dopamine for the rewarding chemical. Then, oxytocin naman is the love hormone. So, it's a hormone where when being released when we play with the dog, when we play with the baby, when we hold hands, no? And when we hug your loved ones or your boyfriend or girlfriend or even your loved ones. Okay? Sana all, no? Then, serotonin is the mood stabilizer, no? So, these include sun exposure, no, be sun safe, meditating, running, and being in nature, serotonin. While endorphin, the painkiller, okay, for laughing, no, exercising, dark chocolate, and essential oils. All right, so these are some of the hormones, okay, of our body. So I think that's the end of our drill for this episode. Laban, papasa tayo, keep fighting, dear LPT Science Top Notchers, no, patuloy tayo na magtiwala 'no, sa kanya at magtiwala sa ating sarili na kakayanin natin ito, maipapasa natin ito. Kailangan lang nating balikan ang mga salient, fundamental concept and those which are stipulated 'no, in the enhanced table of specification for science majorship. Alright, maraming salamat and thank you so much for all those who are commenting in our videos, showing their appreciation. I really appreciate a lot. And for those who are keep on um liking and watching our videos. So hopefully this will really be very this will really help you, know, as you prepare for the board exam. So our playlist is in our YouTube channel. So just click the playlist and you can see our previous videos. All right. Maraming salamat po. This has been your teacher, Dan Rogayan, your Ag Amazing Guru. Till our next video.